Wow, what the last couple of days, Bitcoin has immensely gone up, and this is amazing to see. I think we're gonna rally up now all the way to probably 135,000 and push to the last stretch of this Bitcoin bull cycle before we eventually gonna go into a prolonged bear cycle. And let's go straight into Bitcoin. So on Bitcoin, we can see that we have broken out of this descending wedge. We've broken out a bit early, but this is amazing to see that we are not in fact going to these lower levels down here, but we are actually gonna go higher. And this aligns with our time frame of October coming up now. October is usually very bullish for Bitcoin, and exactly on the 1st of October, Bitcoin has started to go up, and this is always good to see. Now, if we look at Bitcoin, we have to look at these bull and bear cycles, bull and bear bands, and as long as we are above these bands, usually we're in a bull market. As long as we are below, as soon as we are below these bands, usually this means that we're in a bear market, right? So this is the last cycle here in 2021. As soon as we got below these lines here, we entered a bear market, and ever since we are above these lines, pretty much around the beginning of 2023, we've been pretty much always above these lines, above the bull and bear market support bands, and this indicated that we're in a bull market. So as long as we remain above these lines, and it looks like with this final push up here recently, we are still above the lines, I think the bull market is going to continue maybe for another month or so until end of October before we have to reevaluate the situation. And if we look again at the halving cycles also, we can see that we are in the last stage of the market here. So the green lines, as we come to the end of the green lines, it indicates that we're coming to the last stage of the market. And if we go to the last bull cycle, for example, you can see that it's about 80 weeks after the halving event that we reach a local top for Bitcoin, and we reach a top and we enter a bear market. And now again, we're at the same stage. The end of the green lines is here around the end of October, the 20th of October, beginning of November, which is when I expect the bull market to end. Let's see what's going to happen. It's going to be really exciting to see if this theory, which we've been really thinking about for the last couple of months already, is actually going to materialize. And also one thing I can show you guys, if you like, we can draw the Fibonacci extension lines. So we can draw them from here down to here to the bottom. And what this shows us is basically where we are most likely going to reach local tops, right? And a critical support and resistance line is here around $122,000 per Bitcoin, where we've previously also been rejected from. Once we go higher from that, once we break above 122,000 per Bitcoin, I think the next target is clearly going to be here at around $137,000 per Bitcoin, which in my opinion is going to be the next and the final price point where we're going to reverse down from. And yes, that's always good news. Good to keep that in mind. I hope you're already in Bitcoin, and if you're not, then maybe for long term it's a good play, but for short term I would probably not recommend trading Bitcoin right now. For short term it's very risky. Another thing I wanted to point out is that we're basically forming a W pattern here on Bitcoin, and I will show you the price target. So the pattern is simply like this. And we have a neckline forming here. It's around here, you can see the neckline. And the way to draw these patterns and find the targets is to simply draw a line from the neckline to the bottom. And then we're going to duplicate that line and take it to the neckline, which is pretty much here. So the target that we have is around $126,000 per Bitcoin, which now is the next local target for Bitcoin. Now, let's look at Binance actually, because Binance has created a new all-time high, and the all-time high is here around about, if we zoom in a bit, the all-time high is pretty much at the current point at $1,100 approximately, exactly $1,112 per coin for Binance. And the target that we have for Binance is $1,250 for one coin. And the way we calculate this, it's right here, 1,250 approximately. And the way we calculated this, it's a massive inverse head and shoulders pattern. And again, the way to do it is we take this line from the neckline here to the bottom, we duplicate it and put it at the neckline. And then we get the price target of over here, all the way around 1,250, which is where I'm going to sell all my positions. Also because I think The bull market is going to end, and that's going to be the final rally. I don't think it's wise to keep holding, because if you have profits, I would recommend taking them, especially for altcoins. Now, looking quickly into Ethereum, we've previously discussed in the last video that Ethereum had the chance to potentially break down from this orange support and resistance line here, but thankfully we've not broken down from it, because if we were to break down, our target would be around $3,400, $3,500, and it looks like we are now breaking back up above for Ethereum. And in my opinion, Ethereum has a lot of potential to go higher, a lot higher than Bitcoin, especially now at the end stage of the bull market. And with that being said, if you want, we can draw again the Fibonacci extension lines. So we'll just draw them. We can draw them from here actually. And if we draw these lines, what we're gonna see is that the next target is around about $5,700, $5,800 per Ethereum. And if we break higher from there, the next target is gonna be $6,700 and then $7,500. So Ethereum has also potential to go higher. I've mentioned the monthly returns for Bitcoin, okay? And I've mentioned that October is very bullish with an average annual, monthly return of almost 21%. While September is usually pretty bearish or neutral. And last month we've made about 5% on Bitcoin in September, and already in the first 2-3 days of October, we've already surpassed the returns in September. So yes, a lot of potential going up from here. If let's just hypothetically calculate 20%. So as an example, let's calculate 20%, and we were approximately here, I believe. This was on the 1st of October, where we just broke the neckline. And if we go up 20% from here, one sec, if we go up 20% from here, it pretty much brings us all the way to 141. Here, $141,000 per Bitcoin. And that aligns with our target. I said the target was 137,000 per Bitcoin. So I really strongly predict that this is gonna be the last push, and do with this information whatever you want. And finally, it's also worth to note that there's not much interest in retail for Bitcoin in general. This is the Google Trends, and we can see how much search volume there is for the search term Bitcoin. And over the last 12 months, we are still pretty much at a low. So this is the problem with retail. Usually, only when Bitcoin really reaches a top and Bitcoin has already gone up a lot in price is when people start talking about Bitcoin, people start searching up Bitcoin on Google, and that's usually when it's too late. So the good time to enter is usually, of course, when the search interest is low. However, keep in mind, according to the cycles, we are at the end stage of the cycle. So even though the search interest is still low, it might not be the best time to enter right now. And I hope you guys entered already, because you're watching my videos. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Bye.